What's going on, guys? I'm Teo. Welcome to another Quick Hands episode. If you don't already know, I do play live casino poker at a competitive level. Today we're going to have a quick hand review. I'm going to have two hands, one giant hand, which you guys probably clicked the title for. Huge 3K pot in Omaha, 2-5 Omaha. And we landed on the good side of the coin. So we're going to see how that plays out. But before we jump into anything, I just want to kind of give you the whole nature of this game. So we're playing Omaha, we're playing 2-5, and I didn't want to do a full session or a full vlog, I should say, just because I was in there, I wanted to grind, I've been trying to put in the hours, and sometimes when you're vlogging, you know, it kind of takes away from the game that you're just always filling in hands and typing in hands and seeing what's right, what's wrong, trying to remember the previous hand, and now you're trying to focus on that hand. And now if that hand is a good hand, you want to put that one down, so you kind of see how things get a little bit complicated. And yeah, it definitely takes away from my focus at the game, but I think by this point I'm pretty good at multitasking, at least on this particular topic. I'm not the best multitasker in the world, honestly, I'm not that good of a multitasker, but I like to focus on one thing and just really focus in on it. And when I do that, I do exceptionally well, and that's kind of the way that things work for me. This time around, I want to focus on the game, and that's kind of the direction of the vlog. It was a great game, a lot of action, and we're talking about 2-5 Omaha. Shout out to Peter from Woodbine. I know he's watching this because he was asking me how I'm doing with the challenge, and well, we're doing okay. We're kind of like on track here. If we're going to have like another 2 or 3 good runs, then we're pretty much on track for the 5K mark. Not on track for the 10K, but definitely for the 5K. And that's kind of where we stand. With this session, it was profitable, so we're that much closer to our mark. Okay? And yeah, that's kind of the way things go. He was playing Omaha, man. So much more fun, I think that definitely have to promote this game a little bit. And if some of you guys are watching, you haven't tried out Omaha, definitely try it on the internet. Maybe try it for play money or something. I don't know if you can find like an Omaha app or something like that. Just kind of get familiar with how the cards look, how they connect with the board, kind of thing, And when you actually bring your game to the casino, you could potentially play 1-2. I haven't seen 1-2 live, but I definitely play 2-5. They offer 2-5 at Niagara, and the biggest game is the 5-5 PLO. It runs at 5, 10, 20. So if you guys want to definitely run up the stakes and you're thinking of shooting a little bit and you want to make some money, well, 5, 10, 20 is probably the best action that you're going to get playing a big bet type of game. So anyways, without further ado, let's just hop into hand number 1. We're on the cutoff, and we got Ace, Jack, 10, 5, double suited. So we're pretty much almost double suited Broadway. I mean, the 5 is a dangler, but the 5 is a good card because it connects with the 5, so we can get a wheel, and makes it that much stronger. I mean, if it's like a 6, then I'm not going to be as happy, but I'm really content here. We could go either way. I think we could 3-bet this hand, and we could potentially just flat it too because it's just so strong, especially with the ace suited and the jack suited. They're the biggest card suited. So anyways, I got 220. I just lost a hand, and we were up to like 500 or so. So I didn't really reload or retop up. But anyways, I don't mind playing short because, this game, you can just get it in and you can build a big stack, and equity is just run relatively close. So I don't really mind gambling with like $200. E1 goes to 20. E2 calls. I call. And the button calls. Small blind calls and the big blind calls. So there's no squeezes pre-flop, but there's a bunch of us in the hand, and the flop is Ace 5 9, 2 clubs and a heart. So it checks around to me, and I decide to bet $100. Pretty sizable bet, and I'm pretty much committed here. I mean, I got a flush draw. It's not the nuts. I know it's not the nuts, but I mean, I flopped 2 pair. 2 pair, everybody checked. I'm feeling pretty good about my hand, and I'm just going to go with it. So I only got 200. If I lose, well, I lose. That's it. So the button calls, and E1 also call. So it's going to be 3 ways to the turn, and the turn is a 4 of clubs. Checks to me again, and I got the button behind me, but I'm in such a spot where, hey, you know what? If they made a flush, then they made a flush. But my flush is still pretty good. It's not the best flush in the world. And yes, there are a lot bigger flushes out there, but I'm not too worried about that. I only got $100 left, so I just put it in. And then the button calls, and then E1 folds really fast. So at this point, heads up. Okay? It's about 50-50. So I flip over my hand, and he asks if I got a flush, and I show him, yeah, I got a flush. And he starts shaking his head. Not looking good. And the river is a 3 of clubs, and he stares at the board, and we take it down. That's it. Later on, he said that he had ace 9-5 with some other card. So he flopped top 2 pair with bottom pair. So he pretty much flopped 3 pair on the flop, and he was hoping to boat up. Good news is that we actually blocked his outs. So we were able to jump up a little bit right off the bat and continue to play. I mean, this game's a lot more fun when you're doubling up right off the hop. So, hand number 2. Before I say too much on Omaha, guys, full out discretion, I don't 100% know this game as well as I do Hold'em. Some hands I do play goofy, and you know what? It's kind of been working for me, and I'm not 100% well versed. I haven't read all the books, and I haven't watched all the videos. But what I could tell you is that I'm like, I would say my strategy is, to me, 80 to 90% good enough. So if there's a few players at the table that are doing something wrong, well, I'm able to capitalize on that like no problem. So we got king, 9-9, double suited. We're in a small blind, and it's a straddle pot. 1,500 in front of us. It's 8-handed, and it limps around. 4 people in the pot. I decide to go to 75, and the big blind and the straddle fold, and then everybody else calls. So, pretty family juicy pot. 5 ways to the flop, and the flop is ace 2-3. 2 hearts out there and a spade. So we got the nut flush draw, and we got 2 set draws. That's the way that I see this hand. I don't think anybody's got aces, and there is a chance that somebody's got 4 or 5. Yes, there is a chance, but I don't think that there are going to be that many combinations of 4 5s out there, especially when I make such a big bet pre-flop. I can't really see, that many 4 5s calling. So I think I'm doing pretty good against that board, and I got the nut heart draw, try to block people in with worse flush draws. So I decide to c-bet for 275, folds around to M1. So of course he decides to pot, and he pots $1,115, which is huge. Now at this point, if I call here, I'm gonna have 300 left, and if I shove, well, he's pretty much pot committed, but it's a really odd spot. I mean, it'd be better if I had more money behind, but all in all, I'm pretty much committed with the hand. I think that he's doing this with so many other hands. He's doing it with worse flush draws, and he's been bluffing, man. Like, he's been so bluff heavy that I can't take flushes out of his range. I only got a 9, so he could be connecting to the queen, to the jack, and obviously the 10. So there's a lot of these rundown hands that could be in his range that he's just trying to bluff with. And against those hands, we're just absolutely crushing with kings. Even if he does happen to have an ace, we're still doing okay. Like, we got set draws, and we've got the absolute nut flush draw, which is huge, huge draw. So I decide to call, and deuce of hearts on the turn. We make our flush. So at this point, I'm putting my money in. We hit our heart. We got the flush. And I'm just going to check to him. And he decides to go all in for the rest of it. And at this point, we're really close in chips. I think he's got me covered maybe by $100 or something like that. And I call. I snap it. And he flips over whatever he got. River is a 3, by the way. So now it's double paired. And he just shaking his head. Just says, I got an ace. Just an ace. That's it. Let me know what your biggest pot was, or what your craziest PLO session was. I know that I also did like a 1-2 PLO pot where I won 2,000. Actually, the pot was $2,000 at 1-2. That was a pretty big pot. And I think this was my biggest PLO pot, 3,000. So, I don't know. We'll see. I just feel like in Omaha, man, like pots get so much bigger than in Hold'em. And especially when you got people pumping the pot pre-flops. So Hopefully you guys got a good story. Shoot it below and let everybody enjoy it. Okay, I definitely read it and I will comment. I'll hit a like. I'll hit the heart. That's gonna let you know that I commented. Anyway, thanks again for watching.